Hey guys, thanks so much for all the questions you submitted. This is my Q&A, and if you guys have any more questions, please feel free to ask, as I'll be doing another one of these because they've been just so popular. So swipe to the left to see all the answers. First question is by Ryan. Do I need a multivitamin? I'm actually not a huge fan of taking a multivitamin. Not that it's necessarily bad for you, but I think what's more important is finding out what you may be deficient in and how to supplement that. Because we get a lot of vitamins and minerals through our foods, especially if you're eating super high quality foods, which I always recommend. Now, it's true that the quality of foods has gone down the last few decades. But if you went to a naturopath, for example, and you got a lot of your levels tested, you can see exactly where you're deficient in, what vitamins you should supplement with, and what vitamins and minerals you might not need to supplement with because it can either become dangerous and toxic at some point, or you're just going to pee them out. So, I'm more of a fan of that route, guys, but there's certain deficiencies that a lot of people may have. A lot of my viewers are here from Ontario, and around this area, oftentimes we need like a magnesium supplement, a vitamin D supplement, other things like that. So a multivitamin can help. I don't necessarily see it as necessary if you're... The next question is, what were all those supplements that you were talking about that you take pre-workout? Guys, these are nootropics. The supplements I posted were Alpha GPC, Lion's Mane, and vinpocetine. The way that these work are nootropics help enhance cognitive function. They help also with creativity and with focus. The reason why I take these supplements is because when I go to the gym, I don't necessarily like stimulants. Stimulants give me a big hyped up energy, but I'm not necessarily focused. These supplements are going to help with focus without the side effects that a lot of stimulants give you. Now, nootropics have been very popular the last few years. They actually really can help with neurotransmitter deficiencies that you may have or may experience. They also help people with low motivation, for example. So there's different neurotransmitters and different nootropics that help in different ways. Okay, guys? So make sure to look into these if your goal is to maximize your potential not only in the gym, but in your brain. Next question's from Monique. She's wondering, what's one supplement that everybody should take? And to be honest, this really depends. Because not everybody's built the same way. Not everybody has the same deficiencies. So it has more to do with every individual and their needs. But most of my viewers are here in southwestern Ontario, so I would say a few of the main supplements that everybody should take would be concerning gut health. Everybody should worry about their gut health because gut health can be so crucial not only for your immune system, but for neurotransmitter production. On top of that, it governs a lot of things like the way we absorb our foods. So, in terms of maximizing your gut health, most people don't intake enough fiber. So having a fiber supplement is not a bad idea. A probiotic is not a bad idea. And even using things like an omega-3 fish oil to reduce inflammation. These are things that most people can find a benefit from. Ty asks, will I be competing again soon? And I will not. I'm not planning to compete until 2020. Reason being, I have a lot of personal things going on in a really good way. This year, I quit my job, my day job, in order to be able to follow my dreams of helping others with coaching and reaching their fitness goals. So this has been a main focus. Not that I'm not training as hard as possible or I'm not pursuing my goals, but a prep is not only very expensive, but also very time consuming and draining. And I want to devote a lot of that energy in order to be able to help others out. As well, I'm going to be a father soon, and I'm moving, so we have just lots of things going on. I also need to put on a lot more size to reach my goals. I don't compete for the sake of competing. I compete with a big, serious goal in mind of being an IFBB pro. And for me to be able to get there, I need to put on a lot more mass in my frame. So I'm going to continue working with Robin Strand and do as best as I possibly can. Adam is wondering what my go-to cheat meal is. Man, I could talk about this for hours. But I would say if I had to pick just one cheat meal, I really like pizza. The only downside about pizza is just it's not the greatest for you. A lot of ingredients of it. So I do like making homemade pizza with a little bit cleaner ingredients. That's always fun. My other go-to cheat meal that I absolutely love and can be nutritious as well is sushi. I absolutely love my sushi, especially going to Yee's. Many of you in Ontario know Yee's. You can absolutely crush it there with all you can eat. That's the only downside, that the quantity. It's just hard to stop eating once you start eating, but those are my go-to cheat meals. John is asking, do you know of any workout programs that have me training 5 to 6 days a week and will improve my strength? It honestly depends, John. So it depends on your recovery capabilities, what your life outside of the gym is like, and your just personal, your training. If you're going into the gym training as hard as possible, squatting, deadlifting, going for 1 rep maxes every single time, I don't think, and I haven't seen many people recover well from some type of training like this. But let's say you're training 5 to 6 days a week. Let's say you're doing 2 or 3 days that are more strength-based with the big compound movements, and other days for fluff body parts or fluff exercises, you could say. You can certainly get stronger off that. Right off the top of my head, I can think of Layne Norton's FAT program, PHAT. That's a 5-day-a-week program that has you training your strength work and then your hypertrophy work, similar to the West Side style. So look into those. Tyson is wondering, how can I deal with bicep tendonitis? Bicep tendonitis can be a real pain, pun intended. We oftentimes get tendonitis through repeated movements, and especially I see it in gym people who don't follow proper form. So oftentimes we may think we're doing something properly, but we're actually using way too much weight and swinging that weight around. So I would say the biggest thing is you can start implementing things like very slow negatives. Obviously, don't do any movement that hurts, and even just make sure that you kill movements at the bottom. Let's say you're doing dumbbell curls, kill it at the bottom, contract the muscle, squeeze, come down. You can use pre-exhaust techniques. Oftentimes what I find makes the tendonitis worse is going to be just heavier weights. So make sure you're using proper form, make sure you're taking your fish oils, make sure you get maybe some acupuncture and roll it out, and as you follow these steps, it won't get worse. Make sure to listen to your body though. Katie's asking, how do you balance your personal life and your training life? This can often be hard, guys, because as many of you know, I take my training extremely seriously. I see it as one of the biggest pursuits of my life. And I'm the man I am today. I often attribute it to many of the lessons I've learned for bodybuilding. The way that I do this, guys, is bodybuilding in itself is a very selfish sport. So I try to make sure that time I devote to bodybuilding is maximized, and I got to make sure that I take away from other things like watching TV, for example, hanging out with friends, just because I got to prioritize my wife, my parents, and my soon-to-come child. So what I do is I try to wake up very early in the morning. I usually wake up at 3 or 3:30 in the morning. I go to the gym. By the time I come home, it's not like I've left my wife all day just to go train. So things like this, guys, always think about how others feel. Elizabeth is wondering, how do I bring up my glutes? Glutes are oftentimes a body part that many girls want and many guys lack. And oftentimes I'll train with somebody and they'll tell me I never train glutes. All they focus is on squats or leg presses. And the glutes are important not only for health, guys, but just for aesthetic purposes as well. So I would say do not neglect your glutes. The biggest mistake I see is people have a weak mind-muscle connection with the glutes and tight muscles around there. So first make sure that you have very loose, or not very loose, but that you don't have tight hip flexors, tight hamstrings, a tight lower back. Once we make sure all that's in order, you can use techniques to help maybe pre-exhaust it or activate it. So you can start your workouts with maybe hip thrusts, rope pull-throughs, glute kickbacks, glute bridges. As you do that, every time you do maybe a squat with a little bit of a wider stance or a deadlift, think about that feeling.